China and Malaysia spent $80 billion to build Huangjing port, which almost drove the United States and Singapore crazy. What is the mystery behind it? In this video, let us learn more about it. China's development cannot be ignored. As the world's second-largest economy, China's every move attracts world attention. Today, as maritime trade continues to develop, China helped Pakistan build Gwadar port and obtain operating rights. To a large extent, this has promoted the development of China's maritime trade and is no longer restricted by the blockade of the Malacca Strait. But this one port is not enough. In order to be fully prepared, China has started to build another new port, that is, the Huangjing port jointly built by China and Malaysia. The project costs $80 billion and is a key project in the Belt and Road Initiative between China and Malaysia. After the completion of this port, it will bring huge economic benefits to Malaysia. After Singapore learned the news, it was almost driven crazy. Even the United States has begun to confuse right and wrong, saying that China's construction of ports has military purposes. So this makes people a little curious. What does the cooperation between China and Malaysia have to do with them? Why are they on pins and needles? What is the mystery behind this port? In recent years, with the continuous advancement of relations between China and Malaysia, China has launched the Belt and Road Construction Initiative to Malaysia. After Malaysia joined, their economy developed rapidly with China's economic and technological assistance. In order to promote further economic exchanges between the two countries, both sides have come up with the idea of building a strategic deep water terminal in the important city of Malacca. Therefore, in 2016, China reached an agreement with the Malaysian government and planned to invest on the southwest coast of Malacca City to build a deep water terminal, Huangjing Port. It is reported that Huangjing Port covers an area of 1,366 acres, including 3 artificial islands and 1 natural island, with a total investment of $80 billion. The investment and development of this construction project is handled by Malaysian Kaijia Development Company, while China Power Construction Group is responsible for construction. It is expected to be completed in 2025. By then, the 4 islands of Huangjing Port will be built into an international cruise terminal, a central business district, a deep water port and a cargo terminal, and a Linhai industrial park. It will then become the largest port in the Straits of Malacca and the most comprehensive park. Some economists said that the completed Huangjing port will bring huge economic benefits to the local area, and its completion will also be of great significance to China. First of all, the Huangjing port in Malaysia, as an important strategic project developed by China and Malaysia in the Strait of Malacca, is of course mainly aimed at strengthening China's traffic capacity in the Strait of Malacca. A few years ago, most of China's energy sources, such as oil, came from the Middle East. Generally, when China imports oil from the Middle East, it must pass through the Strait of Malacca. It is reported that 80% of the oil imported by mainland China, and even more than half of the world's oil, has to pass through the Strait of Malacca. Therefore, the completion of Huangjing Port first relieved China's shipping pressure in the Malacca Strait. In addition, Huangjing Port can also promote China's construction of strategic projects along the One Road and One Belt. As an infrastructure maniac, China basically lacks everything because China has huge productivity, but it lacks a way to export it to the outside world. As a strategic fortress in Southeast Asia, Malaysia plays an irreplaceable role in the 21st century maritime Silk Road. China helped Malaysia build the largest port in Malacca, and its economic development will achieve overtaking in a corner. By then, most of the Chinese ships originally docked at the Singapore port will be docked at the Malacca port for strategic supply or re-export trade. It is worth mentioning that after the completion of the Pan-Asian Railway in the future, Malaysia's eastern coastal cities and western coastal ports will be completely connected, which will greatly reduce the transportation costs between the coasts. By then, China's goods and products will be able to pass through the Huangjing Port Railway and directly connect to various places via Malaysia. This not only promotes further economic exchanges between China and Malaysia, but also benefits China's export of oil and goods. In fact, although China has a vast territory and many people may always think that it is vast and rich in resources, China is very lacking in oil resources. In the Strait of Malacca, the United States has a greater say, and they can completely block China's energy transportation artery. In order to prevent being strangled by the throat, China can only continue to pursue energy security and stable economic development. In the past few years, China has also made plans in various places to ensure energy security, such as building Hambantota Port in Sri Lanka and Gwadar Port in Pakistan. In order to obtain operating rights, it can also relieve the pressure on Malacca's predicament. The current Huangjing port jointly built by China and Malaysia will further ensure China's energy security after its completion. This also means that the United States is about to lose a trump card to control China. Everyone should know that although Singapore is small in area, it is a developed country precisely because it is located in the Strait of Malacca. Singapore is world famous for its natural deep water harbor. This also means that only the port of Singapore can dock for ocean-going ships transporting from the Middle East and Europe to Asia. And if goods are delivered here, Singapore can obtain a large amount of tax revenue and ship docking service fees, so that the local economy can develop. And with the capital flow obtained from its delivery, Singapore once became a global financial center. In addition, the living standards and employment policies here are extremely advantageous, so it has attracted a large number of talents to invest, thereby driving the surrounding economy and achieving all-round development. It can be said that the reason why Singapore can surpass surrounding areas and become a developed country is due to the existence of its deep water port. The completion of the Huangjing Port deep water port has a huge impact on Singapore. Because the water depth of Huangjing Port deep water port is as high as 20 to 30 meters. It has almost met the water depth standards for docking of all cargo ships, and it is also located in the Golden Zone, the Strait of Malacca. After its completion, it will become Malacca's largest port. Singapore has clearly felt the threat. By then, China's imported oil tankers will also choose Huangjing Port as their navigation channel. This will undoubtedly have a serious economic impact on Singapore. It is reported that China has been the largest customer of the port of Singapore for many years. China's annual cost of delivering goods is worth hundreds of billions of yuan to Singapore. With the completion of Huangjing Port, Singapore can only watch as it loses its sweet potato in China. Not only that, the additional economic losses are also unimaginable. It is not difficult to see that the reason why Singapore had previously spoken out to sow discord between China and Malaysia, saying that China had bad intentions and wanted to build a military base here, was simply to attract attention and cause the project to unexpectedly abort. Although the United States and Singapore tried their best to obstruct China from building Huangjing Port. But opposition is opposition and will not affect the final result at all. By around 2025, the Malacca Imperial Port and its supporting projects will be completed. With the completion of the Malacca Imperial Port, Singapore's status as the largest port will no longer exist. However, some experts believe that if we really want the Malacca area to be fully developed, it will not be something that can be achieved in a short while. According to experts from the China Institute of the University of Malaya, Singapore has fully accumulated trade advantages over a long time with its natural deep water port, and it is impossible for Huangjing Port to surpass it in a short time. Although Huangjing Port is located in an equally advantageous geographical location and has more complete supporting facilities, it only lacks relevant management, labor resources, and financial supporting facilities, which all require time to settle. We are all saying that Huangjing Port will seriously threaten Singapore's economic development. In fact, there may be another situation, that is, economic complementarity with Singapore. After all, the functional positioning of the two is quite different. Singapore Port is actually more inclined to port calling business, while Huangjing Port obviously benefits more from ancillary economic benefits. In general, with the establishment of belt and road-related ports such as Gwadar Port, Djibouti Port, and Huangjing Port, China's economy will also take off. This will attract more countries to participate in China's One Belt, One Road initiative, and China's international influence will be further enhanced. By that time, China will also have more say in the South China Sea. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more great content. See you next time.